Eagle.
Good
Lovely to
afternoon,
have you on the
chaps.
show, my friend. In his pink shirt today.
Yep. Well, underneath it, I've got the FA Cup '91 shirt with Gazza's number on the back, and thought that would give us some luck. Right. I'm going to try and stay calm. I'm going to try, but I make no promises. So let's first of all start with those disgraceful, and I'm going to pick one particularly, and pathetic excuses from Ange Postecoglou. Mainly starting with, we got back from Liverpool at 2 a.m. Oh, Diddums, did you really? Did you not have a nice first-class coach or private plane or first-class train home? And then you got to have a nice little lay-in because it's a warm down day in your nice big mansions, your nice big beds, and then go into the lovely multi-million-pound training complex for a nice little rundown and warm down and go in the plunge pool, ice bath, maybe have a nice little masseuse while 6,000 Spurs fans made their way home by car, train, or stayed overnight at great expense, got home at stupid o'clock in the morning and had to get up and do an honest day's work, but didn't make excuses and did it. Then they get up on Sunday to do it again. But oh no, you didn't get home till 2 a.m. Oh, I'm so upset for you. I'm so sorry. And maybe if you were paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week to do this, it would be okay. And now let's talk about the bloody word context again and fucking injuries. Let's dispel this myth right now because it's bullshit. And the reason it's bullshit, we want to talk about our injured players. Well, let's have a look at a few. Manor Solomon needed 4 operations Spurs last season. Goes to Leeds, Championship football, playing every single week, twice a week. Not one single injury.
He did have an injury, actually.
Okay, so he's had one injury. Has he had an operation and been out since, like he was for a whole season at Spurs? No.
He had an operation before he joined Spurs, though.
I'm talking about at Leeds.
I know where you're going with this. You're saying it's going to be
has Jamie Donnelly, Keeley, Alfie Devine, has Vuskovic, have any of these other players that are Tottenham players that have gone elsewhere and obviously don't get to play in the multi-million game-changing training ground that play regular football, have they had injuries? Have they had problems? Have they had to play twice a week? And then the biggest one of the lot, Japhet Tanganga, who was an injury curse at Tottenham Hotspur, injured all the time, had to get rid of him, can't keep fit. 48 back-to-back consecutive championship games, without fail, no injury. Dominic Solanke, the opposite, comes to Tottenham. Oh, look what's happened. Look what's happened. Then we want to talk about if we have our players back and fit. Last year when we went to Anfield, our lineup was Vicario, Pedro Porro, Mickey van der Ven, Romero, Royale because Destiny was injured, a midfield of Bentancur, Bissouma, Sarr, and a front three of Kulusevski, Son, Johnson. We were 4-0 down within 60 minutes. But it's okay, the injuries, and when they're back, it makes a difference. It's all a myth. And now we want to say, because we're playing multiple games a week, the club are aware of this. They have a transfer window to buy players and strengthen the squad and do it in the summer with quality and not have to wait till the last minute in January. But no, we don't do that. Other teams play football regularly in Europe. They rotate. And Sim, you went on about Plymouth, Liverpool, and they do this for one game and they lose. Do you know what? Liverpool could have played that team against Plymouth against us. We still would have lost. And do you know why? Because Plymouth fought. Plymouth gave aggression. Plymouth were dedicated. Plymouth went for glory. They went for glory, as did Leyton Orient with Manchester City. But what we'll do now, we'll go back to the fans that think everything's great. We played well for 35 minutes. We had a couple of shots on goal. Yes, success. This is absolute lunacy. It's amazing again that we'll use the injuries for the players we have got, but won't mention every single player that is out on loan, no injuries at all. No multi-million-pound training facility and rehabilitation or nothing. Lower league football, Belgian football. But no, we'll just focus here. And then we want to talk injuries. Ben White from the Filth, who had knee surgery, is back in training with Arsenal and ready to come back. But Van der Ven and Romero are slow healers.
So wait, I'm trying to get what you're trying to say. You saying who's
I'm
to
saying
blame
the
for
whole
this?
club is rancid. Ange needs to go tonight. Levy, you're an absolute bastard. And I swear to God, I've done it once before. I've already looked to see if I can get a ticket to come back for next Sunday and just come for a long weekend. At the moment, it's totally out of the question because it's $2,000 that I don't have. If I can find a ticket cheaper, and I can, I will be there if I can. Because I stick by what I say. This is absolute lunacy. And Ange wants to come out with these excuses. He is a walking, talking contradiction. I backed him as much as I could till the Arsenal game. At the start of the season, yeah, we're fitter and ready for the season ahead. Lie. Lie. We don't need players. We do need players. We're trying to get players. It's all lies. And he's being forced to say this shit as a cover-up for that cock on the top that has watched this for 24 years. I was saying the cups are all we've got this season. In a week, they're done. In a week, they're done. Our midfield, if you want to call it that, because we don't have one. That first half, they just went through us like it weren't non-existent. But every time we went on the attack, Villa, disciplined. Midfield in front of the defence, protected it. All drilled and knew what to do. Our players don't have a clue what to do. Not a clue. There is no ideas. It is literally jumpers for goalposts. And let's see if it works. That's what it is at this football club now. Jumpers for goalposts. Next goal wins. And this scoreline has flattered us. Absolutely flattered us. And they can bring on Arsenio's and Rashford's. And we want to talk about it's a young team. Look at that team against Liverpool. Apart from Kinski, Graham Bergvall and Tell, who had to come on because of another injury, every single one of them are internationals and above 24 or at the age where you're not considered young anymore. But we have a young team. Project Youth. Let's put them on the bench and not give them any minutes whatsoever. Just so we can say we've got a young team. Give them a chance. This football team is in such a dire straits of a it is crumbling. It is crumbling to pieces, falling apart. The excuses need to stop. I have never in my life seen a manager so protected. And Sim, listen, you know, you are an absolute
protected
brother
by
to me.
who? Protected by who?
This fan base. This
Everyone
fan
wants
base
an
and
out.
Daniel
Everyone's
Levy.
calling for an out.
Listen, what more records do we need to have? The worst Premier League point for game ratio. You can come up with all the stats that are coming out. And like I said, we use the injuries. It's a myth. Yes, there's injuries, but we're always told, oh, they've had a setback. Oh, he's a slow healer. Oh, they're meant to be back. All these injuries we kept getting, it's no coincidence that everyone else that has left this club and gone on to another team, there's hardly any injuries and they're playing just as much football.
I don't know, but when you say that, Brian, I don't know what you're trying to, like, are you saying that then they are not coming back on purpose? Are you saying the medical team are not doing their job?
I'm saying this whole house of cards needs to come down because it is a pack of lies from top to bottom. From top to bottom.
You're saying they're lying about the length of the injuries or what?
Well, it looks like it. Well, let's look at Van der Ven, shall we? Mickey Van der Ven, who we all know how vital he is. You start against Elfsborg. All a shock, but we thought, okay, that's to get him minutes ready for Liverpool and Brentford. We need to manage his minutes. We need to manage his minutes so you don't play him in the next 3 games. Rumours are rife that it's bigger than first thought. Why the club don't just come out and say, do you know what, an injury. It's going to come out soon, but rather than saying, yep, we've got an injury, we need to deal with this, he's going to be out for X amount of time. No, he's a slow healer. He's a slow healer. Our injury excuses are becoming like buzzword transfer bingo. He's a slow healer. Romero, who's back. Oh, he's on his way back. No, he is. Is he? No, he's not. Yeah, no, he's back. Oh, no, he's had a step back. No, he's a slow healer. Guarantee he plays for Argentina in the upcoming international break.
So are you saying they're refusing to come back?
I've got no idea what I'm saying, mate. But right now, to tell you the goddamn, I'm so enraged. Listen, what I'm saying is that people have got to stop this bullshit. That the injuries, when they're back, they're going to be better because we keep getting told that they're coming back, but then they're not. We need to stop using injuries because then I can give you players that have gone out on loan and are playing regular football and earning their minutes, whether it be lower league where tackles are flying in and rougher, whether it be European football. They're not getting injuries. They're not going to these world-class elite training centres with the best masseuses, the best rehabilitation, the plunge pools, everything else we've got. None of them they're all playing absolutely fine. Got a manager who now wants to blame and say, we got back at 2 a.m. You got back at 2 a.m. Like I said, when those away fans, and God bless each and every single one of them, not just because of how loud they were today and brilliant they were today, they've gone up to Anfield and back and gone and done a day's work because they have to. Bills need to be paid, food needs to be fed, kids need to be looked after. Then they go and do it again for Aston Villa. They'll get back home, they'll go to work tomorrow at 9 a.m, 8 a.m, 6 a.m. Some of them might even work nights. They'll go and do their job. You want to come out with bitch-ass lame excuses that you got back at... What is this, jet lag from Anfield? Is this what it is now? And it all comes down to the guy at the top that facilitates this goddamn bullshit. Mun, what the fuck are you? Who are you? What do you do? Lange, piss off. Piss right off. You do nothing. You keep things quiet. Yeah, because no one else wanted Kinski. You went out to try and get Johan Tell. Mateus Tell. And the bald dickhead went out to try and help as well. He turned him down. You go for Disassi 15 times, even though he turns you down. But no, Chelsea, can you please have a word with Disassi? We really tell him to come. Rejection. This whole club, I keep saying it, and I've kept coming on, and I will take the abuse that comes my way. I will take it gladly.
Because I love Brian.
Mate, thankfully I do get the love now, but there are idiots that want to call the shit out. But this is all good. This is all good. Don't worry. We played well. We showed some spirit for about 15 minutes in the second half. Well done. Well done. Let's all commend Spurs, because that's what we do now. All that matters, all we talk about now is, Ange must have had a real good rollicking in the second half because they played well for 15 minutes. That's what matters now. Not that we got out of 2 cups in a week. Not that we didn't have a shot on target at Anfield. Not that we can't do it. I can't urge people more, and I'm going to stop the screaming, stop the shouting, and just talk about how important Sunday is. I can't stress. Si knows very, very well the group we're in, the things we've tried, the things we've done, the process I've attended, the process I've arranged with Ryan, Graham, training, but the flying over from Canada, the NFL, the presence I have on YouTube, and thankfully, and I keep saying it, people want to talk about this channel that I love with all my heart and is, for me, the greatest channel out there. And if it wasn't for people like Ben and Simeon, and people need to remember this, people like myself, Stel, Danny Kiriakou, and others who have been Levy out for so long, have always had the platform to come on here and speak it. No matter what. Other people didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to discuss it, or wouldn't entertain the discussion. We Are Tottenham TV always bloody well have done. This channel means more to me than just the channel, as people know. This Sunday, enough is enough. Excuses over. This whole thing has fallen down again. It's another project that hasn't worked. It's an owner that doesn't look for quality players, looks for players that will come with low wages. We'll chuck in the... Do you know what? Someone tagged me in a tweet the other day, and I can't believe them. It said, do you know what? When we're all dead, Tottenham are going to be fucking brilliant because of all the youngsters we signed. That's what it's becoming, because we're always told in 2 years' time, the games are over. This nonsense can't carry on. The whole season depended and relied on cups because of how shambolic our league form is. And people really think we can win the Europa League when Tamworth take us to extra time. We don't have a shot on target in a semi-final, even when we go behind and need a goal. And there needs to be urgency. There's no urgency. Crystal Palace hadn't won a game all season. Well, guess what? They played Tottenham. They did. Same with Ipswich. Same. You look at it. Then we played Leicester and Everton. Teams that were 1 in 12 and 1 in 14. And then when you look at this now, I can't believe that I'm about to say this. The last home Premier League win we had is the day I flew into England, November the 3rd, to beat Aston Villa. It has been over 2 months without a home Premier League game. Win, sorry.
3, Brian, I think.
December, Jesus Christ, you're right. Makes it even worse. There you go. A goddamn quarter of a year without a How many more things do we need to wrap up and dress up to say that this ain't right? This ain't right. This shouldn't be acceptable. I thought the Cups were biding his time, and I swear, listen, if he's in charge at Manchester United, then it's going to kick. Look, Manchester United's going to be. I don't even give a damn about the result. I'm going to do everything I can to support Jay, Change for Spurs, and every single person that will protest any goddamn way I can from this side of the pond, unless I can get back home, and then I'll stand proudly right alongside them.
Let's do a GoFundMe page for Brian, I think, to get him over.
Mate,
I'd love to get Brian over.
I'll have a word.
So listen, you know
around.
You know the stuff that we speak about in the group.
Yes,
you know,
every
it's
day.
got to a point. Every day rampant, but it's now it's now ridiculous. It's now
it's crossed the line.
It has. Because Simeon, do you remember when I came on and went mad at Leicester after the Leicester game? And people kept saying, like Daniel Bettingfield, we got to get through this. We got to get through this. well, guess what? We're not getting through this.
No.
In fact, it's getting worse. But
Do you
then
think
people
it's
go,
fitting-
we beat Elfsborg. Whoa! We beat a Swedish team. Amazing.
League 4 competitor, yeah. Do you think it's quite fitting, Brian, actually, Sunday to come, United Spurs, obviously United is struggling as well. And I've got this reminiscence in my mind of when I was at the Spurs United game all those years ago with Nuno in charge.
Yep.
And I've never heard the stadium so fierce, like really fierce, with Enoch out. And I think Daniel kind of heard it as, oh, they must be saying Nuno out, because then he got sacked, but Daniel was still there. Maybe he just doesn't listen to that part, but it's quite interesting that it's this fixture again. United are in a similar position. I know they're not going to probably get rid of their manager after the game, but remember it was the El Sacco. Well,
yep.
this coming week it is a massive opportunity, because it's almost actually a point of reference to say, well, hang on a minute, it's the same opposition, ironically, conveniently,
Yep.
but nothing has changed since then. If anything, it's gone backwards. So that should be enough reminiscence in people's minds to go, well, since Nuno, we've had more managers, different projects, okay, different players.
Yep.
But the consistencies, the common denominators are still there, causing the problems in the first place. And everyone, in my opinion, yes, come to the protest, but also understand that rewind your minds back to that particular game all those years ago, a few years back, and ask yourself, has anything changed? Have we progressed? Are you satisfied? Are you entertained? Whatever the questions are, I guarantee all the answers are no to all of them. And go, well, do something about it then. Let's all get together.
So I'm going to see your Manchester United game. I'm going to raise you another one. I remember it was the last game that I stepped into the entertainment complex, the Levy Bowl. And I will never step foot in there and give him my oxygen, let alone my money, until he's gone. The last one I did, and I walked out on the 61st minute, was the Manchester United 2-2, where Porro and Eric Dyer scored. And that was after the Newcastle United 6-1, which was the very first protest and only protest that we arranged, that we did midweek, because obviously it was hard to arrange. People have work, getting there, yada, yada. But we did it. I walked out in the 61st minute in honour or because of 61, Bill Nick, everything. But one of the reasons I left is the people in front of me, and I was sitting with Ben and Sim when this happened. I came up and met Ben and Sim after me and Ryan got the balloons on the on the pitch for the first time. And I remember singing to Sim when I got up there, and I said, "How shit must you be? Newcastle had 3." Because it was 1-0 after about 9 minutes. But the point I'm getting at, when I walked out, about 6-7 rows in front of me to the left, there were 2 people playing Candy Crush. And behind me, a few rows, or to the side kind of me, there were a couple talking about, 2 guys talking about whether they should go to Brazil or Portugal on their summer family holiday. And I was like, right, get me out of here. But what I'm getting at is that was the Manchester United game. They had just got to a final. The FA Cup final, or the Carabao Cup. I think it's just whatever it was. They just won something and got to a final. And constantly they were singing, "We want Glazers out, we want Glazers out." We sang Levy out on an arrangement, which was loud. But then it just stopped, died. I'm delighted that it's Manchester United, because they will sing this. And if everything that changed for Spurs have arranged, and Jay goes to plan, and the people finally that have decided that, no, do you know what, I am against the board, or just against something with Tottenham, and I want to vent my frustration and doing it the right way, I can't urge how important it is going to that march.
Yeah.
And making those numbers up, because the bigger the numbers, the bigger exposure. You saw how big the exposure was for Change for Spurs with the Leicester game. Inside the ground, give Levy hell, and I do mean absolute hell. And then there's a sit-in. As many people stay there and cause as much bad publicity or bad for the spot, just everything. Just now is the time. People like myself and others have walked the walk and talked the talk. There's a lot of people that have talked the talk and do a lot of stuff on social media, or come and say hello to us at our protest, but then move on for whatever reason it may be. If you want any form of change, whether it be, I want Levy gone and ENIC out, whether you want Levy to sign something or be put aside, that he solely focused on business, solely, and I mean this time does it, not that I believe he would. If it's you want, and whatever it is that you want change for, go to the march, go to the protest. Don't buy stuff in that stadium. Because if you sit here and allow this to happen and keep doing the same thing, this is going to just continue and continue and continue. And people, like I said, keep saying we've got to get through this. Well, we're not getting through this. We're getting worse. We are putting a plaster over a bullet wound. And this is not the Tottenham Hotspur I fell in love with. This is not daring to do. This isn't game about glory. This isn't everything that I was brought up saying that Spurs embodied. and stood for. That song that goes, "We are Greaves, Chivers, Gil." What it needs to say, "We are Beyonce, Gaga, the Stones. We are the touchdown. We are the knockout. We are the skywalk." Because we need a new version because there is no football there. There is no football club.
There isn't.
It's an inconvenience to Enoch, Levy, and I want to be able to celebrate my football club, be proud of the football club, have optimism, belief, faith, and there's none of it at the moment. None of it.
All right, Brian.
Brothers,
Appreciate your
love you
time as always,
dearly.
mate. Love
Everyone
you,
in the
bro.
chat, have a great one. Levy out.
Good to see you, Brian.